I got a loan for the land upon which the structure behind me sits, and when I found it in 2023, I had no idea you could get a loan for farmland, much less undeveloped land in this country that had no structure on it. When I found this land on Zillow and I came to see it, I immediately fell in love with it, but I just knew I could not afford this land out of pocket and also afford to put a structure on it. So I just figured that was kind of the end of the road for me. Luckily, I am very intense at researching things online, so I went home, opened up Google to just see. I looked up land loans in the Northeast in upstate New York, and Farm Credit East popped up. As a lot of you know, that is where my loan is held. Farm Credit is a nationwide system of financial co-ops that make it easier for everyday people basically to get involved in farming, or they support a lot of the already existing farmers by issuing loans, and they also offer payroll and different things to just make it easier for you. Since I'm in the Northeast, Farm Credit East popped up, but there's regional offices across the country, so if you're in California or somewhere else, it will be called something different, but still Farm Credit. So in this video, I'm gonna break down the terms of my loan with you. And before I do that, I always like to say finances are personal. I have read so many personal finance books. This is my 6th real estate transaction. No two investments are the same. Trying to directly compare mine to yours or your unique financial situation is just something I wouldn't do. I would not overanalyze it too much to the point where you never take action. There's always going to be a little bit of risk incurred when you do something like getting a loan or buying land or buying a barn. There's always going to be risk incurred, but there's obviously a way to go about this smartly by doing your due diligence and homework. So that's why I'm always happy to be financially transparent with you guys on here. Somehow someone will still criticize this below in the comments or say I'm misleading you, but I'm really just sharing exactly what has been my truth with this process. Also, Happy New Year. So with that, let's dive in. My land is 6.74 acres of rural land in Saratoga County, New York. If you want to look up where that is, go for it. I am right outside of Schuylerville. I am 20 minutes away from Saratoga Springs, which is considered a pretty desirable small city in upstate New York. It's a pretty affluent area, and I'm about 15 minutes from the Saratoga racetrack. Those of you gamblers watching this know it's the oldest racetrack in the country and pretty much the centerpiece of Saratoga and why the area is generally a pretty affluent area. Therefore, my land is pretty desirable by investment standards, and I wanted it to be within 20 minutes of a place that would have people that would make the drive to come to my barn and maybe take part in workshops or pick your own. A lot of people, when they buy farmland, they're so done with society. They're like, I want to be 2 hours away from everyone I know. That's fine if you're gonna homestead and not try and turn a profit or anything like that. You are more than welcome to post up away from everybody. You're gonna find the cheapest land that way. If you want to have some element of the public coming to your space as part of the way you earn money, which is what I'm attempting to do here in 2025, then you do just want to take those things into consideration. But my land is 6.74 acres. My monthly payment to Farm Credit East is $950. I had many different options, right? I could have done 20% down, 25% down, and I went with 30% down. I did this because I wanted to pay off the land more quickly. Again, that's just my personal preference. You wouldn't have to do that. That's what I chose. And I also had a 10 or 15-year payoff structure, possibly even a 20-year one. I went with 10-year payoff structure again because I just wanted to get it done. I wanted to pay it off and not be paying interest for the rest of my life. Personal preference. That means that my payment comes to around $950 a month. If you guys want to do the math on what my land costs you, you can, or I can just tell you it was $160,000 for 6.74 acres of land in Saratoga County. Again, this is an expensive county. This is a sought after county. Saratoga is one of the top 3 most sought after areas in New York State right now. It's been over a year since I've held the loan, which means I'm now down to a little less than 9 years paying it off. I would like to try and pay off the loan sooner than 9 years. Hopefully I can. Again, just to avoid the interest and other things that are accrued on it. I got the loan in 2023. Interest is 9%. If I maybe can renegotiate that in the future, we'll find out. But I have found that Farm Credit East is a very responsible, kind lender. I've never had a lender care about me the way they do. No, this is not sponsored by them. They made sure to put me in contact with people in the local office. If I ever have a question about anything, they answer me, and I'm not even kidding, an hour. When I had an issue needing a notary public a few months ago, I called them up and said, do you guys have a notary there? And they go, come on in, we'll get you all set up here. It was free. It's like, that's just the type of lender that they are. This summer, every summer, each Farm Credit office hosts a brunch, an outdoor lunch for all of its lendees. So I will be going to that this summer. The one near me at the Washington County Fairgrounds had 800 people in attendance last year, and it's really cool. It's everyone at these long outdoor tables, laughing, eating together, and that's just the type of stuff that they do for people if you're a part of the Farm Credit family. I also love Farm Credit sends me these roundup emails, which is how I actually found the USDA grant program I am in, was in a Farm Credit East roundup email that they sent me, and I clicked through all the links. I found a lot of helpful stuff through those emails they send me. They also send me physical assets. They round up leading industries, what's taking off in the farming world, things you might want to consider investing in that you wouldn't know about. They kind of aggregate all that data for you and put it in fun graphs, and I'm a dork and I like to look at it. Sometimes I make videos off of it. I can't sing their praises enough. So yeah, that's my biggest payment every month right now. I paid for the barn in cash because I was able to get a loan for the land. So when people say, oh, she's being dishonest about that, no, I am not. There is a lot that goes into explaining what this barn costs. If you've ever had something built from scratch, you understand it's not just one figure that bundles up this whole thing. There was electric, there was well lines, there was a septic tank, there was woodworking, there were subcontractors. I have to go through the paperwork to find out what that final figure is. Or I could just break it down piece by piece, which I am doing in my Substack. I will link to below. You guys, I am first and foremost a writer. I write in a newsletter/online magazine every single day, and I post 2 articles per week there. That is my preferred method of breaking down numbers and money. So I will link to that below. Otherwise, I will continue to work through all of the different topics here with you guys. I do love being on YouTube and screaming at my phone as well in this space that has an echo. I'm leaving the floors uncovered like this on purpose because it will allow us to do messy, workshoppy, woodworking type things in here and just sweep it up when we're done. It is still a barn. I know people will say, oh, it's so insulated. Oh, look at the loft. Oh, there's a bed. It is still a barn, and I want it to stay that way. Before I do my sign off, I do want to remind you, you do not need 6.74 acres to feed your family or even turn a profit. I saw a great video yesterday of someone detailing how 1/3 of an acre made them $85,000 in produce sales. So we have the technology today to farm smarter and not harder. No hate to the farmers who have been managing multi-thousand acres for a century. It's hard work. I just believe we're about to see a new type of farming where people are realizing you need less than 3 acres to do everything that you think you want to do, and that makes it much more affordable. You don't need to buy land in a fancy horse racing county either. Just pick a plain old county with a business-friendly town board. Important, call the town and find that out. Business-friendly town board, and you need like 2 acres. If you want some of the benefits that come with registering officially as a farm with the state you are in, I would just look up what that acreage minimum is. It can range from 3 to 10 acres. But again, all of this is personal to you. This is just my personal experience. I was born and raised in Albany, New York. That's how I knew that Saratoga was an affluent area, because I'm from only an hour away. So sometimes there is benefits and value in buying the land close to what you know, close to what you knew growing up. I'm very familiar with the nature and the woods here, and that just felt comfortable to me. I did not want to do this in Florida, where I know nothing about the palmetto bugs or the alligators watching me in the ponds. I just wanted to be up here and freeze to death instead, naturally. With that, like I said, Happy New Year's, you guys. I have so much content coming your way on this channel, and I always sign off with $24 trillion worth of land is now going to be for sale right now over the next 20 years. It has started. Farmers are retiring. They're over the age of 60. They are exhausted. I would much rather you buy this farmland before foreign entities, Wall Street, and corporations buy it, right? That's why I share this stuff, because I think we will have a much more enriched future if we drive down the road and pass 15 small farms, happy families, kids running outside, beautiful native plants, than driving down the road to see a very dystopian, corporate, massive ag conglomerate structure in the distance that kind of makes you feel like you're in this dystopian hellscape. Anyway, bye guys.